Hey all, pleasant greetings to everyone, and I welcome you all to another exciting episode of our show AI Knowledge Hub with me, Anisha CD from India. Today we have a great episode where you're going to do an integration of AI with the CEO of Bespoke Marketing Global Limited and an innovative creator of AIR, which is a hub for AI voiceover and also free music license. And today we have it's none other than Mr. Jason with us, who is going to shower his knowledge, and we are going to have an exciting integration. I love all of you to have your insights in the chat box, and let's have exchange of insight. Now let's start the show with a quick self introduction of our guest. It's over to you, Jason.
Hi, thank you, Anisha. First and foremost, I would like to say our conversations over the past week have been very exhilarating. I've been very interested in following you, been catching up on the two previous episodes, which were an amazing insight to gain plenty of knowledge. Considering my background, which I'm going to explain to you in just a moment, but I just want to thank you again for allowing me to join you, and to anyone that's watching, I hope you find this episode of interest. So my name is Jason. Jason Lohman. I'm the CEO of a company called Bespoke Marketing Global. I've had the company, we established the company 15 years ago, predominantly dealing with voiceovers. So when you're business and you're placed on hold or transfer, you hear the music. Predominantly concentrated small, medium businesses. Are you there?
Yeah.
Super. Okay. So we've been dealing with a lot of SMEs.
Yes, Jason. Yes, having a network issue. Yeah, we'll come back again. Hi, Michael. I'm glad you're here. So today's show will all about be AI voiceovers, and it's field related to marketing, and we will be having the 5 core section as usual, and it is all about domain knowledge. As you know what is domain knowledge and domain expert from my previous episodes. Even though if you don't know, I'll elaborate on that, and then we'll have a quick walkthrough to all these 5 core sections. And it's going to be really a wonderful session with him because it's about AI voiceovers, which plays a key role in most of our calls, etc. So this show is all about the 5 core parts, which is the 5 I's of AI, and it's called ideate, and then invest and incorporate, and we have the third section is about integrate, and finally about the instigate. So all these 5 I's of AI will be mapped with the 4 core parts of AI, and we'll have a discussion on that. So ideate will be mapped with the knowledge base, and invest and incorporate will be mapped with inference engine, and then integrate will be mapped with knowledge acquisition and learning module, and finally instigate will be mapped with, yeah, we have Jason back.
Yes, technology. I do apologize. I'm not sure what happened. I have a full connection. Okay, so anyway, just as I was mentioning, we were cut off. So we've been running a company that predominantly deals with on-hold marketing, and we have a lion's share of our revenue or our clients come from SMEs, but we do have a large collection of multinational corporations, Alibaba, based in China, and Financial, Intel, Facebook, and others. So up until about 2 years ago, the on-hold marketing industry was thriving. It was, in a very strong position, but with technology, things started to change. So we decided to look at other avenues that we could help provide our clients. What word could I use for this? An instant voiceover. So that's been, our concentration over the past 2 years. My industry, my background comes from sales for the past 20 years. I've learned a lot over 2 years, particularly with AI. And obviously this discussion is going to be concentrating on that. So I've been doing a lot of homework this week with my team and with yourself as well. So it's fitting. I feel like I was back at school. I've been doing a lot of revision as well. So yes, it's going to be an interesting discussion.
I love the sincerity you show towards the show, and that you have a great, amazing journey. It's really a hardworking journey, and I really like your fascinating works about your AI voiceover, which is really fascinating. And one of the posts I saw, like it is there in multiple languages, which is really great. And we'll go into the show through the sections. So let me first tell about what is domain knowledge and what is the domain expert. So domain knowledge is a basic for any system which we are going to develop. For AI, it is the core of AI. So domain knowledge is like, for example, if I'm going to build an AI system for a hotel, I have to go to the person who is running the hotel and extract the knowledge from the person.
Of course.
Those facts and heuristics I have to incorporate in the AI systems. Until and unless I have domain expert like him, I cannot build an AI system for hotels. So it's like that. So domain knowledge is the core, and this show is all about showcasing the guest core knowledge and his life experiences and career journey, and about how he has bought ideations, or how he or she has bought ideations, invest in incorporations. So we are going to see it one by one. So let's start with the first section, that is ideate. So how do you generate idea? Each person generates it in different way. How did you generate ideas in your life? So tell us about that.
The idea with regards to how we came up with the concept for the AI text-to-speech?
Anything from your business.
Well, the text-to-speech market is still in its infancy. We have only been sort of immersed ourselves into the speech market, the TTS market, about 2 years ago, when we kept of the AI. So just sort of jump. We do as a company are human voices that go into the studio to create voiceovers for any type. Then I was in the Maldives actually with my daughter, and some of our clients that are based in the Maldives, some of the resorts that are there, we found that a lot of the resorts were steering away from on hold. So when somebody was being transferred to the spa or the dive center or the reception, they were starting an app. So when I was there, I started to get a little bit concerned. So I thought, okay, we're missing out on something here. So I started to look into the voiceover, instant voiceover, which would be text to speech. 2 years ago, we did about 3 months research. We started to try to find a company essentially could provide us with text to speech as the to sort of reduce our costs, so get experts within that field. Found that within the industry of the text to speech, the problem that we had found is companies were charging extortionate amounts of money for the text to speech as a whole, so what I thought we could do is to help our clients is to build our own engine. We have an amazing team in your part of the world. We have fantastic developers. We have AI developers in Bangladesh. We have an amazing team in India, so pretty much, and also in Pakistan. So we found that a lot of what I would like to call them geniuses that work for us, because that they are, and they're very committed to the text-to-speech market. So what we did was we created, we gathered a team together, and this is over the past 16 to 18 months now. The team that have come together have provided our project, which is known as AIR. So that's artificial intelligence recording. So the text-to-speech market as a whole, as I just mentioned, is stage is currently worth around $2 billion. Now, in the next 3 to 4 years, that's actually going to raise to around $5 to $7 billion. So just a small part of what we are trying to create. Isn't just for AI voiceovers for text to speech. This is really going to be helping a lot of people. We as a company are very concentrated on making sure that as ethically as we are, we want to be able to be sort of social responsible for what we're going to even to offer our products right across the board. It's not just for our current client base. We have many different options that we're venturing down at the moment, or that we're currently looking at. And we see our first product as AIR will be the foundation that we build upon to enhance AI, to enhance text to speech, and to also to benefit anybody that we can along our journey.
That's
Okay.
great. Yeah, it's fine. So it's a really amazing. I really like that point where you saw a problem in the society, and then you started like mapping out ideas from that. We are missing out this, we are missing out that. So that part is really amazing. We should always empathize on the problems which we have in our surroundings, and then try to incorporate the ideas, and also refine our ideas, whatever is missing in our product. And it's really amazing. And this is what we can incorporate in our knowledge base, is like how to identify the problems from our surroundings. So the empathizing the problem, and then extracting ideas, and then refining ideas, it's a key part. And I like that AIR abbreviations, like artificial intelligence recording, where you have it's still in the inception, but you like to incorporate more, but you have so many features right now, and you wanted to refine it, which
Correct.
shows clear aim of developing a better product day by day. It's really amazing. So in our knowledge base, we can incorporate the core parts, like what we want, like empathizing the problems from the surroundings, from the field, and then about the artificial intelligence recording. But tell us more about the voice. How do you got the idea of like we can have AI voice?
Okay. So I can give you a little bit of an insight into how the voices are created. I think that will probably be starting point. So it can take anywhere up to around 12 hours of samples, studio recordings of human voice. I will talk about maybe cloning later, but it is a very similar concept. So as I mentioned, hours of studio recording of samples of voices, different voices. Then what we train the engine, so the engine is working constantly. We have audio samples, can take up to around 2 weeks to then, obviously depending on the GPU power that's being consumed. It can also be very difficult to the machine learning that's involved. I just want to state as well, my background has been sales for many years, so this is fairly new to me, but I can give some knowledge, obviously, with working with our amazing team that we have. So, what we can say is that it's not an easy process by any means. There's a lot of work, a lot of manpower that goes into perfecting, and we're still not there yet with the perfection of the voices. It's like I said, it's machine learning. It's constantly, we are learning as humans, that we're learning as well how can we make it better in many different ways. We may use Nvidia T4 and I think A16, the GPU units that with the building of the voices. Mentioned that we have currently, we use a lot of different nationalities, a lot of different languages. We currently have 56 languages that are available to our users. predominantly the mainland are North America, South America, across Europe, and over in the Far East as well, and including Asia, particularly there in India. So what we want to try to offer a product not just within English. Some of our competitors are currently concentrating on English speaking, North American, European. What we wanted to do was to make it available to as many people as possible. Our accuracy of our voices at the moment can range. So we currently have third and fourth gen voices. So the accuracy of the voices range from around 98.2% up to around 99% human-like accuracy. Okay, now that's in an exponential rate. So, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Last quarter, so at the end of March, some of our third generation voices were still not quite there. Now, if people go to our website, air-bmg.com, .com, or go to our YouTube page, you will be able to hear the difference within the inflections of the voices. So still, we want to make people very clear of this, and particularly our users, that we are constantly updating. We are constantly improving our voices. So right now, we decided, myself and business partner Russell, what we decided to do was to only offer the human-like voices, the neural voices. The term used in the industry is neural, but we like to use a lot of people don't know what neural is. So what we wanted to do is to let people know that the voices are human-like, and we only have offered 279 voices that are late 98%, so 98.7, 98.9% accuracy of a human voice. But again, we have our fourth generation voices. Now, some of our fourth generation voices are not as accurate as the third generation voices, because again, they're still learning. There's input from the human side and obviously from the AI side and the ML as well, the machine learning side. So our main focus is to provide the best voices possible for our users. And as we state, that anybody that comes on board with us as a company, any of our users are notified in their welcome email that we are constantly working to improve our voices. And I do believe, and I can put my neck on the line here and state that by the end of this year, you will not be able to tell the difference in some of our voices. Okay, in some of not all of our voices, but within some. By this time next year, we'll be in a position where our voices are that accurate. We could be speaking to someone on the phone, and we will not be able to detect whether that's a human or whether it's an AI voice that they're speaking to. So, it's a great learning process for us. We're very confident with the product we have. We have some great competitors out there, but the focus for us is not to offer an excremental amount of voices. It's to provide quality to our users.
Right. So we have so much to put it in the knowledge base of AI. So I will bring the insights which you have given me. It's a lot of insights here and a lot of facts and heuristics which you have given me. So we
yes.
started with empathize, and then you talked about memory, and you told about the financial aspects of it, and the languages and the samples, and you told about the machine learning and the availability at the global scale, and the accuracy which is growing exponentially, and the inflections of the voices, and you told about the third generation and the fourth generation comparisons of voices, and finally you touched upon the purpose of the differentiation if we can't find out the real voice and the AI voice, but if it is used in the construct, it is really good. So this is what we'll have in our knowledge base. So our ideation stage is mapped to the knowledge base of AI. So all these comes into the knowledge base, facts and heuristics, which you just told now. Next, we'll move on to the section 2. Before that, we have Kenneth here, who has given us some shower of positivity.
That's very good.
Yeah,
I like it.
So savor the flavor of awesomeness in you for sharing your nuggets of wisdom, kindness, goodness, and patience, encouragement, empathy, understanding, sincerity, perseverance, knowledge, Oh my God! Thank you, Kenneth. And we have Kenneth,
Kenneth,
like,
yes.
yes, Jason, savor the flavor of awesomeness in you, sir, for sharing your nuggets of wisdom, kindness, and goodness. And it goes on. He's spreading positivity to us.
I
So
love Kenneth. I love you. You're amazing. This is what we need. We need more of this in our world, not just in the business world, but in the world as a whole. Positivity, great energy, which you and I discussed yesterday, Anisha. So thank you very
yes,
much, Kenneth. I'll be sure to follow you and to learn from you and to gain more positivity from you. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
yeah. But when you miss the when you have the network issue, yeah, Michael just popped out, like our first episode guest, and he was here, like, hello, Michael, and
Hey, Michael.
yeah. Yes. So yeah, we'll move on to the section two, that is all about invest and incorporate. So as you said, the ideation has so many facts and heuristics and how you empathize and how you come to the refination process. Invest and incorporate all about building the process to make ideas into reality. We can't just be in ideation stage, we have to bring it into reality. So what did you invest in your career, from your life experiences? Share us your investments, tangible or non-tangible, and how did you incorporate a process? And the process will be evolving as you grow. So how did you adapt to the evolving process also? So tell us more about your investments and incorporation process to make your idea into reality.
Okay,
Yes.
so what I think it's best to do here is maybe just to use air as the example. Obviously, it's part of what we're currently dealing with. So as we found an area where we were lacking in, so where companies were starting to use app resorts within the Maldives and many other places. We saw an opening that we believe that the future for us, as in many businesses, AI plays an important role. And I'll just give you a little stat as well that I found earlier today, that 3 out of 4 C-level executives are now saying that if they don't look into AI and maybe implement AI into their businesses, that they believe that within a few years' time that they may not have a business. So to go back to your question, that this was important for us. See the voiceover market as a still a very strong market, but we are now seeing, just to give you an example, I'm sort of going off on a bit of a tangent here. To create a production for on-hold marketing, it can take between 3 to 5 days for the script to be compiled, the music to be chosen, and the voiceover as well, to get the voice artist into the studio. So that was a 3 to 5 day process. Now, with the AI side, with the text to speech, we see that now within seconds, even minutes, okay, at the very most minutes. So 2 years ago, the process started for me, was to do a lot of research, a lot of R&D within the text-to-speech market. Obviously, Siri, Google Voice, and there's many others that are out there were sort of on the fringe. People were using it on their phones, on their speakers, etc. So for me, it was a very interesting area that I wanted to delve into, to try to find some way that we could incorporate the text to speech within our company, particularly within our product, for our clients, to reduce costs and also to be able to deliver the product in a very short period. So for us, for the first probably 6 months, it was a whole new world, because this is something that we have never ventured into before. So there was a lot of learning, there was a lot of consuming. My brain melted a few times along that journey, just based on all of the terminology, a lot of the advancements, because within AI, something that may be created today could be changed in a week's time. So we were trying to catch up, because the text-to-speech market, as I mentioned, is a few years old now. So to be able to incorporate AI into our product, wasn't an easy task by any means. We are still learning. We still have a long way to go, as I mentioned, within the previous segment of this call. So our main focus is to completely keep our eye on the ball, because we believe that within the next 2 years, we're not here to try to replace the human voiceover. What we believe is we can support the voiceover industry, and for our clients is to be able to reduce the cost. So incorporating AI and text to speech within our first product of Air, and the other products that I mentioned to you yesterday, which I can't say too much about today, but there are products that we will be releasing over the next couple of years that are going to not only enhance performance for businesses, educate children, but also offer a product at a low and affordable cost to everyone.
Wow, awesome. So the purpose behind it is really great. So we know that Invest and Incorporate is mapped with the inference engine of AI. So inference engine is all about the interpretations and debugging. So the way you have interpreted Siri and Alexa, whatever is there, and the way you have interpreted it and you came up with an idea. We always struggle with interpretations, and we think that we don't have novelty in our thing, whatever we are doing, because everything is existing. What we are going to bring novel in our products is something. All that questions is answered by you. It brings you bought novelty by your own way, and different from Alexa and Siri. So it is really great to know that the purpose you're trying to refine, bringing it in an affordable way, an accessible way, and bringing it to the high availability. So all these terminologies plays a vital role in interpretations of AI. So in inference engine, we have these interpretations, whichever you told, like voice over market, the support which you're going to give, and the high availability, high accessibility, of course, and the text into speech technology that plays a vital role. So all these was really amazing, and we are going to incorporate this into the inference engine, as I've already told. So we have a knowledge base now and an inference engine, and let's move on to the section 3, which is about integrate.
Okay.
So we have to integrate skills. As you said, you were the expertise in sales, and now you are you have the knowledge of AI, you have the knowledge of text into speech, you have the knowledge of how to bring AI voiceover. So you have integrated multiple skills. So tell us your journey of how did you do this integration, and how did it came into existence, and how did you bring this wonderful product into life? So tell us that experience.
Okay, no problem. So just to sort of add again a footnote to this, my knowledge within the AI industry at the moment on a scale of 0 to 10 is probably a 2, but that's increasing on a daily basis. I'm learning so much from our amazing team, which I've mentioned a couple of times. The support me in many ways. They're real information in layman's terms to me, because my background with sales, as I mentioned, is over 20 years. So the field of AI and text to speech is new. But to be able to give you an understanding of how we created the product of the artificial intelligence recording. First and foremost, our team that we collected together that have now come with a superb engine, a superb product. We actually only launched 2 days ago. Okay, so it's been a very long process. There's been some bumps and some hurdles in the way that we have had to, as a team, collectively overcome. But our integration of the text to speech, initially we were only going the text to speech to our current client base. The app wasn't that we haven't launched yet. So in 3 weeks' time, we will have an Android application, Google Play, very similar to what we have currently on the desktop version, but it's going to be a lot more powerful. So the integration of the text to speech within our product was initially, the journey took place last year, so around April and May of last year when we started the team. We wanted to try to find out. We initially only had just English speaking, Then when we incorporated a couple members of the team that said, look, we want to be very clear and very transparent with our users as well. So we do use Google and Amazon's engines for speech. A lot of our competitors may not disclose that, but we're more than to explain to the people that we do use Google and Amazon's product to a point, and it's literally like having a car that has a very just a basic engine in and very basic wheels. So what we've done is we've completely rebuilt the car, the engine, and again to kudos to our team for being able to add so many more options and availability to our users. The time that's been spent into adding more languages, adding more voices. As I said, we currently have around 600 voices now. We're only offering 200, and there's so much more work to do on the rest. But the implementation of the product itself has taken literally nearly 12 months for it to come to fruition. So for us to be able to now tell people that you can actually use our product and feel and touch, and being able to translate from your native tongue into the other 55 languages that we have available, is a very rewarding and a very important feat for us as a company. So from my side, again, I can't really give too much information based on the engines and the whole mechanisms of the AI. That's not because I don't want to, it's because I don't have that knowledge based on it, but I can give you as much knowledge of the products as I can.
That's amazing. So the way you integrated all your skills was really amazing. Like how you started with, you told me like scale 0 to 2, and you're learning. So it is really amazing. All we need is like, we should have a mindset of lifelong learning. If you don't have the mindset of lifelong learning, we couldn't reach any destination, what we think.
Of course.
So this integration part is like just awesome. You have given me so many points, like how did you change your adversities into opportunities, like from sales to the AI voiceovers. It is a big leap, I can tell you. You have incorporated learning as a great skill, and you have bought enhancement, which is really amazing. The enhancement to the previous engines, which is already available. And the most important thing which you told is about rebuild, and it is called re-engineering, where if you want to know something and you're going to build something, we have to do re-engineering and find out what was there in that. Then only we can do some enhancement to that, or else we couldn't do that enhancement. The re-engineering part plays a very key role, and you have told it very beautifully. And about the native tongues, yes, it's really important. Like however we go with each native languages, we have to learn the semantics of each languages. It's really important to understand the semantics, and then we have to incorporate it. So that takes a lot of time, and it shows your patience and perseverance of yourself and your team as a whole, how you have incorporated it. So much in the integration part, which I have to incorporate in the knowledge acquisition and learning module. It's about adversities into opportunities, enhancement, and the key part is re-engineering and rebuild. And it's about the native tongues, how they have incorporated, and the timeliness you have shown to your project. And it's about the different platforms you're going to incorporate it. It's an Android application which is going to come, and that is really amazing. So much of integration. It's amazing, Jason. I really love that part. So
there's a lot. Yes.
Yes. So we have Kenneth telling us, Jason, this sounds so scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly tasty good one to me. So he's
I love it. Well, can I just say, Anisha, Kenneth, if you want to go and get a feel for what we are offering, if you go to our main platform, airtm.app, there is an area where you can buy us. You can put it up to 500 the different voices that are on there. You can add music in, but it's a fantastic product, and thank you very much for such a comment.
Yeah, he's giving so much positive energy. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Thank
I
you.
love it.
So we have the, yeah, we have the final stage, that is the instigate, where most of us give up. Like when we have some mistakes or errors or some feedbacks,
Mm,
criticisms, or appreciations or success, we just think that's enough, or we just give up the process as a whole. And then we don't go
mm.
back to the ideation stage, we just stop it in the instigation stage itself. So how did you go back from the instigate to your ideation stage again, and then started building robust models? So how did you do in your life experience from the starting of your career journey till now? What kept you moving from
Okay.
the instigation against the ideation?
What kept moving? What a great question. Well, there's one thing that I've learned in life, and I try to give to other people as a little bit of knowledge, is never stop. Never stop what you're doing, even if it's something if it's something you don't believe in, or it's something that you don't have a passion for. Change, but never. And that comes from my grandfather many years ago. I remember a conversation I had with him when I think I was 7 or 8, and he gave me the 3 Ds: the drive, the dedication, and the desire. And if you can marry all three of them together, no matter what you go through in your life, I think if you find that there is no, you can never give up. And when you believe in something, it adds even more value to that. And there's been many times in my life, I briefly explained to you yesterday and today, my experiences throughout my career when I when I found my vocation, when I found something that I was good at. Normally, one is talking, and two is sales. I've had I worked for one of the largest providers in the UK about 22 years ago now, of on-hold marketing. They are a competitor now, which is great. I love that, and I found that a lot of business were always trying to hold their staff back without going into too much detail, but they don't let their staff flourish. They don't listen to their staff. It's this way, it's it. So what I learned from that, and many other times in personal life as well, is to be open-minded, to be open-minded and receptive to other people. I think not only can you learn a lot from that, but I also see it as a very positive thing to be able to drive yourself into new, to offer yourself new goals. My positivity over the past 5 6 years, since my daughter was born, my whole mindset has changed within myself. And there have been many times, have I ever questioned what I've done, whether it be personal or business? Yes, 100%. But did it ever make me want to stop? No, it didn't make me doubt myself. It just made me want to pursue it more, to give more energy, and look at things from a different perspective. And one thing that I've learned from other people as well is to have numerous perspectives on specific goals. There's not just one perspective. So like I mentioned to you a few days ago, I'm learning all the time from each other. And I think if we have open minds, and we have people like Kenneth in the world that are positive, that can provide the energy that this world needs, not just over the past 12 months, but to continue in future. I think for me personally, my main driver is to not succeed within business, succeed as a person, and whatever them individual goals are, great. I can achieve them, change them, adapt them, and still continue to grow as a person. And as I mentioned, my grandfather, the conversation I had, you're always learning. And this is why the AI and the machine learning is so new for me. I'm 43 years of age, and I still want to learn more. And there's so many more things that I want to digest, and to help, and be a person that can encourage people, and to help build others, and in turn build myself with that. So that one thing I will always say is never give up, no matter what it is. Never give up. Easy to say sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. My God, so much insights here, and it is so much motivating and inspiring, Jason, to hear from you. I love the TDs, like drive, dedication, and desire, and you have to be open minded
Yes.
always. It's very true. our ego always don't allow us to learn from everyone. It says you are good, or
Mhm.
sometimes it says you are not good. So both of them are really bad to pursue us further or
Yeah,
progress us further. So I think
exactly.
we always have that extreme points due to our ego. I think we should settle it down
Yes.
and then start learning from everybody. And that's a very good point. I really love that point. It's highly resonating. And that's really
Mm.
drives us back to our ideation stage. So always I map this instigate part to the user interface of AI. If the user
Oh,
interface is
yes.
not really good, and there's no like, if I'm giving a car with no proper user interface, is like without the steering, you just have to operate the hardware directly, no one will like it actually. They want the gear system, they
Of
want the clutch, accelerator, everything. So AI system should have a good user interface. It's not about the backward machine learning training, it's always about the user interface, what we provide. So I map this to that user interface where we get feedbacks, real feedbacks, and
Mm.
the user will give the inputs and they get the solution back. So instigate is something like that. So you gave us a really great points, and I loved all the points. So it's always like we should never give up and go back to the ideation stage. It really plays a key role there.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
completely.
wow, you had a great, you gave us a great walkthrough to all the sections. It was really amazing. So, let me recap with
Mm.
the section one where we had idea. It was mapped to the
Okay.
knowledge base. So, in the knowledge base, we'll be having the facts and the heuristics. And you gave us the facts of empathize and the memory and the financial
Mm.
aspects and about the languages, availability, and accuracy at the exponential scale, and about the facts of third generation voices and fourth generation voices. So all these has to be incorporated into knowledge base. When you come to this field of AI voiceovers, this terminologies plays a key role. And you told about the second section, which is about invest and incorporate, which we map through inference engine. It's all about interpretations and debugging. You told about the voiceover market there and the text into speech idea, and about how did you generate from, or you got motivate from Siri and Alexa, and the support you're going to
Mm.
provide affordable manner. So, third part we saw about the integration, which we map it to the knowledge acquisition and learning module. You gave us the points like adversities into opportunities, enhancement, and I love the point of re-engineering and rebuild, and the future scope of building your or launching your product into Android applications. And finally, the instigate, which was my favorite part and a resonating part of yours. It's like drive and dedication and desire, open minded, which is a key point to go to get us back into the ideation stage. Wow, you just gave us a base model for AI voiceover, and through your life experiences, this is really amazing, Jason. I really loved it.
Thank
So,
you.
so
Thank
anything
you.
you would like to tell?
Yeah, so
Or,
you just breached on Android there. So we will be, we currently have our desktop version mentioned just a couple of, we launched a couple of days ago. Our Android application released in just over 3 weeks. We're on iOS, on Apple Store. Hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of August. So yeah, we have a lot of things. That's our first product. We have some really interesting products that not only benefit the company but benefit our users just within the voiceover or text to speech. But there are so many different facets to the to our product of Air. We're really looking forward to this just self 2 years of commitment from when we, well, actually 4 years, because we've already been 2 years. So another 2 years to be able to give my all for this. My business partner, who's been amazing over the past 12 months in helping me, supporting me, and giving us, a real guidance from a different perspective, which we just mentioned. So, I want to be able to provide products to people to adults to children in a way that can help them learn, and I think one of the questions you asked, what are the benefits of AI, is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, and for me personally, I think it can only enhance us as humans, depending on how much we immerse ourselves into that. But yeah, my main focus now is getting people, educating people within the text to speech market, and more importantly, voice, because a lot of businesses don't see the power of voice, and voice is a huge market. And as I said at the very beginning of this saying, that currently the market's worth about 2 billion in the voiceover text to speech market, and that's gonna keep growing year on year, and it's going to help businesses in so many ways. So our product's great. Some of our competitors that are out there at the moment, we know we uncover other businesses to check AI out, be involved, do some research in it, because it's not a bad thing. AI will enhance us, as individuals, will enhance our businesses, will help us come through times when we do need it. We grow as people, and I see AI growing at a rate that's going to be so beneficial to all of us. I'm a firm believer in AI. I'm a firm believer in empowerment, and I think AI for our company and for myself, is going to have so many benefits, for the future.
Perfect. That is really, you bought it like how you have to bring the constructive way of AI into the world without any age pass or without any economic backgrounds. So at this end of session, we always have like 10 generalized questions, which will be asked to all the guests, and then we'll be having a group discussion on either of the episodes, which is not yet planned. But this is about the generalized questions, which I have gathered from non-AI expertise. That is mostly from my family members who don't know about AI. So they have certain questions. So I thought like we can have this generalized question to all the guests. So let me start with this question. So what aspect of human intelligence fascinates you?
Okay, so for me, this would be, I think, the ability to learn, to form concepts, and apply logic. Most people use these on a daily basis. And one thing I will say, for me, I think applying logic plays a key role in day-to-day life. And I would just add, with AI, with an intelligence, we wouldn't have AI. So for me, that's my answer is humans are very intelligent. Our concepts and our learning process, and I think if we can integrate them into the AI, we are only benefiting better of our children and people as a whole.
Excellent. I love the answer. So, which part of human intelligence should be, which part of human intelligence should be or should not be incorporated into AI?
Okay, the one thing to me, and I'm sure Kenneth will agree with me on this, is negative emotions. I don't think they carried in. I think solely positives should be carried into AI. For me, without delving into it too much, I think there's a lot of negativity in the world, and I think it doesn't breed well. But for me, positivity plays a key role, and that for me, no negative emotions.
Exactly, absolutely. So I agree with that. We have to always develop a constructive AI rather than a destructive AI. It plays a key role.
Exactly.
So next question, So next question, if you have a chance to choose an AI robot model to be a part of your life, which work would you like to use it for?
Okay, an AI assistant. Need an AI assistant. Now, there are many products out on the market that can assist you with daily things, but for me, helping me remember things, that would be my main one. I would like to have that. That for me would be a positive thing, and also facial recognition to help me remember names. So I'm great with faces. I can remember someone's face from 30 years ago, but people's names from last week, that's something that I struggle with. So for me, it would be an AI assistant to be able to help me remember things and remember people's names. So I think that's important.
Wow. So honest
Yes.
answer. Yeah. So yeah. Next question: will AI replace humans, and will it lead to unemployment or will it lead to new employments?
Okay, so in my opinion, I think it will be fairly balanced. People rate their current vocations because, we've seen over the past 20, 30 years, how things have changed. Now, maybe even before 30 years, robots have been used, mechanical machines have been used, building cars, different industries as well. So for me, I think people will need to sort of reevaluate maybe their current vocations, especially if they've just started, because I think AI is going to play a major role over the next decade. And I think the only way that a lot of people will become unemployed is if they don't change maybe what they're doing, or maybe in certain areas. I think also academic side of things in schools as well. I know certain things have changed within the academic side of things in secondary schools, but I think that needs to change a lot quicker than what it is. Speaking to my friends who have children in senior schools, secondary schools, I think that needs to be on a grander scale, because for me, people might see, we see movies all the time, Hollywood movies, even going back to Terminator, and even movies over the past 10 years. They're so now AI based. These things are already happening. They're already there. We may not see them in our day-to-day life, but that in a blink of an eye it will change. So my words of wisdom, if we can call it that, would be for anybody that's starting out in a new career, incorporate some sort of AI, for your knowledge base, because things are going to change so drastically, and you'll only get left behind, unfortunately. That's my opinion, anyway.
Wow. Great. So let's move on to the next one. So should it be necessary to include AI into the business as one of the strategies? Is it essential?
I believe so, not just from speaking for I can speak for our company, and how beneficial it's been already, and how active and rewarding it's going to be for the companies, the next 10 years at least. And as that I stated earlier, 3 out of 4 C-level executives are now saying, whether it's that their own intent or whether that comes from advice, that if they don't incorporate some sort of technology within their business, that they may not have a business in the next 5 years. So for me, I completely encourage businesses to look at implementing AI in some way that will be beneficial to the company. And again, just to revert back to the last question, if businesses don't do this, then there's potential for a serious trouble for them. And I think you have to keep an open mind. Again, something we touched on, and be open to new technologies. A lot of businesses get left behind because they find themselves stuck in their own ways, be that they've been in business 100 years. But you only have to look at Blockbuster as an example. Netflix. Blockbuster were a very prominent company, and within a few years, they were out of business based on streaming. So for me, I would use that as an example. Businesses to be involved with AI in some way, shape, or form.
Well, beautifully said about the pros of how AI can improve business. Well said. So,
That's
yes. So, can AI be a friend or can AI be our enemy?
okay. So I'm split on this one. I can be both. I think it can, if used in the correct way. I think if human input into AI is executed correctly, then I think we have a beautiful friend in AI. If it's used in other ways, I also think that it could potentially be a negative, for anyone really. So, for me, I think it could be a 50-50, but I think with our input, with human input, in a positive way, it's a friend.
Exactly. Intentions play a great role. If our intentions are good in
Exactly.
building our system, it is a constructive one, or else it is going to be a destructive one. So, yeah.
Exactly.
So, do you think AI can bring equity and usability and feasibility without any economic imbalances? It is if we, everybody can get the AI products. Like we have so many affordable prices. to for everyone to
Mm.
get that product. So, is it possible for an AI product to be accessible without any economic imbalances?
Well, I think we're on the cusp of a digital revolution. So I've noticed that more because I've been involved in it over the past 2 years, seeing the way we live, the way we work, the way we communicate. AI isn't technology, so it's hard for me to sort of give a forecast on that because I'm not an economist in any way, shape, or form. But from a company's perspective, and also from my perspective, I think there's plenty positive roles that it can play without causing any issues. Definitely.
Mm, exactly. So, do you think AI is essential and necessary as part of our daily life?
Yes, I think so. 100%. Just again, from our experience of what we're currently doing, and we all also I'd like to also to insight as well. What we're currently doing, we're speaking with a very amazing lady in America who is partially sighted. She has a great YouTube channel, Live Accessible it's called, and she has some fantastic videos on there. And one of our goals is to help with our product into helping the partially sighted, being able to incorporate our product in benefiting them. So yeah, 100%. As I mentioned, we have many different facets to the business, and this is one of our goals is to help people with disabilities or any issues that they may encounter in life, educating children through text to speech, with learning different languages. A lot of children are never in books now. 30 years ago when I was in school, we were in books, and books aren't very interactive. Books are to read. So, being able to help children grow, learn many different languages, another goal of ours. So yes, I do think, we have a great way to be able to benefit others.
Wow, great. That is really good. Like it is useful in educational purposes, and I've
Mm,
seen so many AI products incorporated with schizophrenia, autism, dyslexia, so many other
exactly.
neurodegenerative disorders. And it's also useful for it enhances or helps the person who are disabled, who are challenged. I call them physically challenged. So it really helps them a lot. You bought the pros of AI in a beautiful way. Yeah, great. So, so what is a user friendly feature you would like to have in AI?
Okay, so something that we will be working on once our apps are established on mobile platforms, we are going to be wanting to look at conversational discussion with AI. So right now, I do believe again that's in its infancy stage. I have samples of discussions having even Google right now sent to some of our team. A couple of days ago, Google Assistant, you can ask your Google Assistant to make an appointment at the doctor's. You give them the information and it will have a conversation with the person that's on the other end of the phone. A lot of people don't like making phone calls now, but if you've got a Google, which is fantastic, that's something that we will be touching on at a later date. So for me, it will be conversation. I would like to have a conversation with an AI, with someone other than a human sometimes. Definitely,
That's nice.
for many reasons.
Okay. So yeah, the final question. So do you think the evolution factor of human intelligence will stop or will cease after the incorporation of AI?
Well, again, from my own personal experience, we've seen, if we even go back to latest first came around, and then mobile phones came around, and the technology that's grown out, I think the dependency on AI will depends on, for me, how dependent humans become on the AI themselves. I think it's all about people being able to be aware of what they're doing, and being conscious of how they're using, similar to how people are always on their smartphones. I think it's down to the individual. So as a collective, I can't really speak on that, but I do believe that from my perspective, I think the dependency will depend on the individual themselves and how they are using AI as a whole.
Perfect. Yes, well said. So it is all about how we consciously use it, and we should say that it does not consume us. We should consume it rather than
Exactly.
it consumes us. Yes,
100%.
yes.
Exactly.
So you I had a great knowledge shower of so many AI products. This is really a great session where I got so many knowledge extraction. Apart from your life experience,
Good.
you shared so many insights on AI products through the questions. It was really amazing. This is really useful to know about how AI has benefited in various fields. You bought it all in this show. I was really happy and grateful for your effort to bring all the products benefits to this show as possible as you can. So it's really amazing. I don't have any words to tell. I'm speechless. You brought so many knowledge to this. So I you told me in the comment
Thank you.
like you have your life experiences, but you bought so many knowledge of AI. So I need not do any homework on AI. You bought all the knowledge about
Oh,
AI.
I don't know about that. It's probably best that I keep some of my personal experiences out of this. You know, from a whole, I think the most important thing that from this podcast today is really just to be able to give experiences within business and what we've created, and also bring some of the energy from personal side, from my personal side of life, into this, and being able to have just Kenneth and yourself, obviously, for me it's been a great hour with you. We're going to be keeping in touch. We have so many other things that we can discuss. Everyone's enjoyed their time today. Whoever wants to ask me any questions, I'm open all the time to discuss. I'm always busy, but I'm never too busy to help people. So please feel free. Anybody that watches it who wants to learn more, not about me, but about, they really can if they wish, about the business as a whole, each about air, about our products, and any way that maybe any input that they can give that from what we currently have with the TTS, if they have any ideas that they think could be, because there's people that come to us all the time with ideas, and some are amazing. So anybody that wants to give input, we're open-minded, we're receptive to others, and if we can help people grow and they can help us grow, as individuals and as a business, then I'm more than welcome to speak with them.
Wow. See, I didn't know like we got an hour of discussion. It was like just flowing. We had so much knowledge
Good.
exchange. I never knew the time is flowing. Like we had an hour of discussion. So I'd like to conclude like today's session. We had a great base model for the AI voiceover through your life experiences. And I wanted also to tell that this show or this podcast is all about how you can extract knowledge from the people around us and how we can incorporate
Mm.
into the systems we can. So we all miss that part when we build a system. We are all about coding and programming, but we miss the main part that is the domain knowledge and domain experts. So they play a key role, and this show is all about them. And this gives the knowledge of how you can incorporate their knowledges into your system if it resonates, and if it does not, it gives you different dimensions to your learning. So today's session was really amazing with so many insights about AI voiceovers and your experiences, especially on the instigate part. I really loved it, and thank you so much, Jason. You were so kind, warm. You never thought like. The show you just flowed, and you gave me so many inputs, and like you were very free on the drafting session, also cool on the live show also. So I really liked your presence. I hope your product reaches great heights, and
Thank
congratulations
you.
for the launch, and thank you so much, Jason, for joining. Any concluding note
Super.
you would like to tell?
Yeah, I'm just very happy to have spent the past hour with you and with the people that have joined the podcast today. It's been
Yeah.
really experience for me. We've had some laughs, we've had some smiles, we've learned a lot of things as well. Yeah, I look forward to watching further episodes with you and your future guests. So thank you. I
Yeah, thank you
appreciate
so much.
everything that you've done for me over the past week. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason. So I thank Kenneth. I thank Michael for joining the live show. Their comments was really good, and they brought so much positivity to the show. And I also thank the people who haven't, who are back, who are watching the show. So thank you so much, everybody. I thank this LinkedIn family a lot to bring in the positivity and the support. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you. Hope
Super.
to see you
Thank you.
in the upcoming live session and for your insights too. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Take care.
Yes,
Thank you.
enjoy.
All the best.
Yes, thank
Thank you. See you now.
you.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.